I just made a bet, a $1,000 bet with crypto K4L ATL crypto. All right, I made a bet with this guy. I made a $1,000 bet with this guy. I made a bet with him that ProveX will not dump below the sacrifice price, below our entry price. I am not saying it out of emotional being. I am saying it with structural evidence that ProveX is not going to dump below our entry. Yeah, I know a lot of you are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to lose already in this bet." I'm not going to lose. I'm not, even if I lose, at least I want more than $1,000. I can afford to lose it. It's not more than what I have lost, But I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not like those people who tell you another thing and do another thing. That's why I made this bet with this guy, KR4. Some of you know him. He's a great guy, amusing guy, So we have a space talk, and he is arguing that ProveX is going to dump below the sacrifice phase, our entry level. And I said, no, we are not going to dump that. That is why I put up this video. I want to clarify you guys some things that some of you are missing. Some of you, I see some of you saying, oh, ProveX is going to dump. I'm going to make you understand the circumstances surrounding ProveX, why it might not be able to dump. So if you are holding ProveX, you sacrifice for ProveX, you are holding POS-Chain, POS-S, and HEX, this might be one of the most important positioning video I have ever made. And like this video, subscribe now, and if you have conviction that ProveX is not going to dump, comment "I am holding the floor." Let me know how many of you who are believers who are watching me. All right, and if you believe that sacrifice price is protected, I want you to comment it below. Is protected. Let me know if I'm going to win on this bet. But let's go deep to it. Let's talk. Why sacrifice price is physiology. Like, why did I believe that we are not going to dump below the sacrifice phase? I want you to understand. Now, let's compare the sacrifice phase of ProveX to POS-Chain sacrifice phase. During the sacrifice phase, I have repeated this over and over again. All right, bear with me. This is going to be a long video. I don't care, but I want to clarify some things that some people are missing. All right, during the sacrifice phase of POS-Chain and POS-X, Ethereum was 4,800. Bitcoin was hitting all-time high. Solana was $230. Everything was hitting up. As Infinity was almost $120. All right, As Infinity that you see at 1 cent today or $1, it was 100 and something dollars. Avalanche was $150. Luna was $120. All this was blowing off during the sacrifice phase of POS-Chain. I want you to bear with me. Now, what was the price of HEX? HEX was 10,000 S up. People who put $1,000 suddenly become a millionaire. They don't know what to do with money. Even Richard Hunt himself become crazy rich. He compared himself with Elon Musk. At the time, we was comparing him with Elon Musk. How crazy and how things were at that time. We was comparing him with Elon Musk so that you will know our hope million. Our dopamine was very high that time. Then he started campaigning for launch of HEX, launch of POS-S and HEX. Now I'm pointing out something for you. Bear with me. So he started campaigning for the sacrifice of POS-Chain and POS-S, and people who made money on HEX, who cannot sell because there is no liquidity. They made millions of dollars. Now they cannot sell. Because they cannot sell, what happened? All of them send money to POS-S sacrifice, POS-Chain sacrifice. All of them send that money to sacrifice. Now, people from Avalanche, from As Infinity, from Solana, from Luna, from all these things, from Celsius, all of them who make money are looking for a way to double their money. Some of them look at what HEX did. HEX was a thing then. HEX was the highest performing asset in 2021. Bear it in mind. So people miss out on that because they call it a scammer. And this time around, they see that his assets have went and do 10,000S and they missed out on these. So the next one, layer 1 was 18 then. You have to understand. Layer 1 was heating up. Solana was heating up. As Infinity was heating up. Polkadot was heating up. ADA was heating up. BNB was heating up. Ethereum was heating up. Every layer 1 there was a success. So they think about if Hex was able to prove a success, then they are going in. That was a thing. That was the beginning of downfall of Hex and of Porsche and POS. So all these people, they sold their coin. All these people on Hex, they sold their coin and they dump everything on Porsche sacrifice. We already know how things went when everybody is bullish for a project. It's not often goes into the direction. We know this all the time. It happened in crypto. Just when everybody is saying, oh, bear market is in, bear market is, before you know, boom, we started bull market. Is it not 3 months ago, even including me, CZ, everybody was calling for a super cycle. Everybody was bullish. Super cycle, inflation is cooling down. This is the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. Before you know, boom, we are here. It's always happened in crypto and it will always happen. And I have learned that pattern long time before now. Now, what am I saying? All these people made money on a bull run. So that's why I said Porsche is a market of is a product of a bull market. And it will never stop the self-pleasure. There's no way self-pleasure will ease from Porsche because the self-pleasure and the 2S amplifier is too much. Even till today, if you calculate it very well, some people are still in massive profit. And that is why Porsche did not see a pump. That is why when it launched, now all these people who sacrifice, who sell all the Luna, who sell all the Hex and dump to Porsche and raise $600 million and raise $1 billion, they are now looking for 10S they couldn't see. Before you know, SEC strike. Before you know, Richard Hartz gets struck by FBI for not paying tax. Before you know, boom, everything starts selling off. People could not see it again. And now what happened? These people who put all this money, remember all of them made 1,000S on Hex, 10,000S on Horse, and they still put money on Porsche. Now all of them start selling, and they have been selling for 4 years, and they are still in massive profit to today. Now Richard Hart, at a time in 2023, in 2024, later in March, as of March, February, March 2024, Richard Hart injects 20 million liquidity into Porsche, and which increased the price by 7x. And what happened? These people, they drained the liquidity. They sold down again. That was the turning point of Richard Hart. Then he knows that no matter the amount of money he put there, he cannot fight these people. Because these people gave him 300 and something million, 400 and something million, $1 billion for him to, for him to make them a millionaire. Because he did it with Hex. And why he did it with Hex? Because majority of Hex was staked and only small little liquidity of Hex is available in the market. That's why he was able to buy it and pump it to 10,000S. So most people didn't sell their Hex. You have to understand that. So you see, when he put that money, people sold it down to 98% deep. That was when he think about it, and he knows that there's no way on earth he can put money and pump this coin. So he put that money, he moved that money to Ethereum, hoping to get at least 2S or 1S on Ethereum, at least have extra $600 million, to counter the price. Ethereum messed up. Ethereum did well. Maybe he bought at closer to all-time high, and we are here. Now, what did he do? Being smart, Richard Hart, he now launched ProveX. Why did he launch ProveX? Some people will argue, oh, ProveX is a centralized fiat on lab. Yes, ProveX doesn't even need a token to start with. I can connect my wallet here, boom. I put my Great Britain pound. I go to Wise and I put my USD. I buy it. He doesn't necessarily need a token. Now you have to be smart to understand why he created the token for ProveX. So if you think that Richard Hart created ProveX because of this app, this, Yes, I argue this is needed because to get money from your bank direct to crypto, it is a success for all of us. All right, but it doesn't necessarily need a token. You have to understand that. But why did he created the token? That is something you need to ask yourself. Why? You know why? Because now let me explain. That is, let's talk, honest talk. I have showed you the reason why POS is dumping and why Hess is dumping. Because I have told you it's a bullion coin. Now, ProveX is a total case, different case. You will argue, oh, Hess dump when it launched. Yes, POS dump when it launched. Yeah, but this where the mathematics that you don't understand. All right. If you compare POS total supply was 15 trillion, which is, if you value it at sacrifice phase, when you are talking about sacrifice phase, you are talking about 0.0001. This is, let me say, this is the sacrifice phase. Whether you like it or not, this is the level you are paying to get POS. This is the price in the market. Some people will say, oh, nobody knows the price when it launch. It doesn't make any sense. We don't know the price. But this is the price that you paid. Of course. Yeah, you paid at 0.1. So if you launch below 0.8, it have launched below sacrifice. If you launch at 1.2, or no, if you launch at 0.2, yeah, at least it's going to be above the sacrifice phase. Very simple to understand, but I find it so stunning that people will come out on space and say, oh, nobody knows the price we get it. Oh, what is the price? Oh, what is the price? They are confusing themselves every time. Very confused people. All right. So the sacrifice price is 0.11. This is what you paid. If you don't know, this is the sacrifice price. Now, POS dump because people made money on Hex and they put their money, everything there, and they're hoping for Richard Hart to get them rich. And when Richard Hart did not get them rich, they needed the money. They didn't sell the Hex. You remember? They sacrificed everything for POS because they want cycle to continue. And the cash out, they have been steady selling for the past 4 years. Now, why is ProveX interesting is because Richard Hart have figured out that no amount of money, if I put 20 million here and they sell without any remorse under 1 month, man, he's down $20 million. This dude have just lost $20 million. Nobody is going to give him back that money. So this dude have lost so much, protecting the price. That's why he leave the price to fall. He doesn't care about the price anymore. Then he figured it out and he launched ProveX. So if he launched ProveX without a use case, that means he is creating another thing for himself, Then he launched this fiat on lap. And from there, he make ProveX to be buy and burn, you can see, which is one of the best economics on POS chain. Because number one, it have low supply. You will say, oh, POS have a buy and burn supply. You have a buy and burn supply. POS X is 22 trillion, my friend. You will die before it will get bonds forever. You and your grandchildren, we are not going to be existing before POS X will even get all of the total supply bond. All right, you understand it. Now, this ProveX now have a buy and burn with total supply of 320 billion supply. That is 0.1% of POS X supply and POS chain supply, and we get it at the same level of POS chain price. We get it at the same level. So it's not that we get ProveX at 0.1 and we get POS chain at 0.1. No, we get all of them at 3, 0, and 1. The same price, the same thing, the same project. Now, here comes the thing. During the sacrifice of ProveX, who participated on that sacrifice? I will tell you 2 categories of people that participated. Number one, people who participated on that sacrifice was the smart people, like me and you, who knows the game that Richard Hart wanted to play. We participated and we are not going to sell. Never. Because we know the game, that this is our catalyst that will revive us. The second people that participated was hardcore Heskans who believe in Richard Hart, who even Richard Hart messed up today, they are going to clean his mess. These are the two people that participated in ProveX sacrifice. And these two people are known to be not sellers. They are not dump. They are not people that need money now to buy burger. They are not people now that need money now to buy the girlfriend hair. All right? They are not people that need money now to go and drink champagne. They are the smart people and long-term thinkers, takers. All right? So they are the people that lays. How much did they lays? $16 million. Lowest, lower than Hex. Hex lays about $25 million fatality. Now ProveX lays $16.4 million. Lower than everything on Porsche. Low supply than everything on Porsche. Have buy and burn than everything on Porsche. Have more use case. More use case than everything on Porsche. Right now, I can go on Porsche now and I can use Porsche. I can use POS-S, I can use 9mm, I can use 9-inch, I can use there are many devs on Porsche, but there are not many ProveX on Porsche. And everybody needed this thing to get decentralized fiat on lap. Nobody wants to be going to Coinbase, sending wallets, direct from your bank, you do it, you do your thing, you get out. Decentralized P2P, trustless. You don't need third party to verify you. All right? So, ProveX have a strong narrative, a strong market tokenomics structure, buy and burn, and low. There's no inflation. Hex have inflation. Post chain have inflation. POS-S have too many coin, even though it have buy and burn. So you see, ProveX is the best tokenomics on post chain, and Richard Hart knows this. He knows it. He knows about it. Now, here comes the thing. If you calculate a coin that have 320 billion token at price of 001, that give you 32 million market cap. Now, if you argue that okay, Richard Hart puts 400 million, it doesn't count. If you go here, if you go on Porsche, all right, this is Porsche. This is where is Porsche, all right? Let's go on POS-S. Let's go on Porsche. If you go on Porsche now, you're not going to calculate the 122 trillion. Do you know how many tokens that exist on Porsche? If you calculate what Richard Hart put, because Richard Hart put about 600 million Porsche on Porsche, if you calculate the money that he put and the token that he minted, that is going to be that is going to give us total of 122 trillion token. But we are not counting it. Anytime we are doing our valuation based on market cap, we argue based on 22 trillion token, 15 trillion token on Porsche, which is being traded. So the ProveX token that is going to be traded is not going to be 1 trillion like everybody is shouting. Oh, he put 400 million. It's going to. So people are I don't know how their brain work. This is just a thing that he put there to, I don't know how he do it, but it's just to confuse the market cap. Now, what you are going to focus on is 320 billion tokens, which is 16,400,000 that people contributed. That is what is going to be traded in the market. And if you place that based on 001 entry, and you put that on market cap, that gives you 34 million market cap, 32 million market cap. And for those of you who say it will go to maybe 90% or 80%, or maybe it will go to, let me say if you go to 3, it's not going to go to 3. If you go to 3, that means it's going to be 10 million market cap or 8 million market cap. You see? So the market cap on here is $34 million, is $32 million, which is already tiny. Okay, look at Porsche. Porsche fall 98. POS-S fall 98% deep. 98, all right? And they still have market cap of how many? Let's look at the market cap. About what if you look at the full diluted market cap is 1.2 billion, all right? But the low market cap is 80 something million. All right, it's something $1 million in market cap. And if you go to post, let's go to Post-chain. If you go on what Post-chain, you see Post-chain have 80 million market cap to 90 million market cap. After falling 98% dip, he still gets himself to 90 million market cap. So that should show you how the market cap was valued very high. So do you think if Post-chain have 100 million market cap at launch, it's going to fall down to 10 million market cap? Never. People will eat it up. But because the market cap is large, a lot of people participated. That's what I want you to understand. That is why they sold it to this level. Now, ProveX market cap is going to be around 30 million to 34 million. Even if you launch at sacrifice phase, like Post-chain. Post-chain launch, okay. Now, Post-chain launch at sacrifice phase. All right. That sacrifice phase give him the market cap of 1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. The sacrifice phase. That is the market cap of Post-chain. 1.2 billion. So Post-chain launched at 1.2 billion market valuation. So if ProveX is to launch at 300 million market valuation, that is a 10x. If ProveX launch at a 2 billion market valuation like Post-chain, that is a 100x. Do you understand? And even if ProveX launch at a 30 million market cap, that is a sacrifice phase. Simple. Do you understand how tiny it is? That's one thing that I want you to understand in this whole point. How tiny this coin is. Even at look at Post-chain at the low at bear market. Even after 4 years, people selling, it's still at 100 million market cap. Now you are telling me that people are going to sell this one to 4 million market cap or 8 million market cap or 10 million market cap. What? That is simple human understanding. Now let's talk about how did Post-X ProveX sacrifice, how did it go? Now, I have told you the two categories of people that sacrifice for ProveX. The smart people, the people, hardcore people who will die for Richard Hart, who will clean Richard Hart mess up. These are the two people. That's why we are able to get only $16.2 million on ProveX. Now, what happened on ProveX sacrifice? What was the environment for the market condition? The environment for the market condition is everybody is at a loss. Nobody made money. So everybody is at a loss here. Let me say everybody is at a loss on Post-chain, on Post-X. I sold my coin, some of my coin at a loss, so I can sacrifice for ProveX. Now you tell me that when ProveX launch, and some of us who sold Hex at 1.4, 1.5, now Hex is sitting at 1.6, even below our sell pleasure. I sold Hex at 1.4, at 1.5, all right, and I sacrifice. Now Hex is sitting at 1.68. Now by the time ProveX will launch, maybe next 4 or 5 months, who knows? Maybe Hex might be 4 cents or 5 cents, all right. Hex might be 204 cents or 5 cents. Now you are telling me that if Hex is up, now I will sell my ProveX at 5. No, I will sell my ProveX at 0.7 or 0.8 to go and buy what? To go and buy Hex that already pump, or to go and buy Post-chain that is already 3. Post-chain which I sold at 1.4 to sacrifice. You have to make it make sense. This is a common sense. I don't know when people come to space, Twitter space and they say, oh no, it's going to dump. Everything it had dump is dumping. What is the market condition? How many tokens do you get? This is the question you need to be asking yourself before you make your decision. That is why I place this bet. You know, some people will argue that I'm going to lose this bet, but I have my conviction. There's no way ProveX is going to launch below sacrifice phase. ProveX is going to launch either at 0.4 or 0.2 or 0.3. The lowest it can launch is 0.2. It's not going to dip anything below the sacrifice phase, which is 0.8 or 0.9. That is my bet. So ProveX is going to be 3 or 4, and people will be selling around there. People will be thinking, oh, I'm selling. Oh, I made 4s. Oh. And people will be buying it happily, you know. Before they know, it will go to 0.1, which will give them to 300 million market cap, which is nothing. Which is nothing. You know, for Porsche to be at 300 million market cap is still at a dip. Oh God, I don't know if you people are paying attention to what I'm saying, man. If you are still holding, if you are paying attention, comment, I am paying attention. Let me know that you are still with me. All right? I am telling you guys this for free. For free. I am giving you all this analysis and nobody is paying attention. Now, if Richard Hart was able to put, remember, I want you to remember again, Richard Hart put $20 million on Porsche, and Porsche couldn't do anything. It just did a 7x. $20 million gone. Just like that. People sold, drained the liquidity. Now, if Richard Hart was about to inject $20 million to ProveX, do you know what it will do to the price? Do you know? Do you? Do you understand? It's just like, let me explain. The total money laid on ProveX is $16.4 million, right? So if Richard Hart was decided to put $20 million to ProveX, 20M, if you put 20M to ProveX against the 16M that we contributed, how do you do this? How do you do this math? I mean, how do you do this math? I want you to do this math. If you inject the $20 million that he put on POS to ProveX, that was less total of 16.4 million. How do you do this math, bro? That is going to explode. That is like putting $300 million. That is like putting $400 million to Porsche. That because we raised $300 million on Porsche sacrifice. So if Richard Hart put $400 million on Porsche, where would the market go? So that's why I said ProveX is the easiest to pump. And the ProveX was created in order to pump Porsche. It's a catalyst that we need in order to revive our Porsche and pass it back. Because why did I say so? I have taught you about capital rotation. Just like when gold pump, if gold dump, Bitcoin pump. If Bitcoin dump, Ethereum pump. If Ethereum pump and dump, all coin pump. If all coin pump, meme coin pump. This is capital rotation. Now, if he injects $15 million to $20 million to ProveX, and ProveX did a 1,000x, all right? People like me and you who put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, that get $3 million, that get $4 million, do you think I'm going to cash out and take my money and go? When I see Porsche is sitting at below sacrifice phase, I'm going to be buying Porsche. Likewise you, likewise I, likewise everybody. And Porsche will be mooning. Everything will be mooning. Now and again, he doesn't need to buy, he doesn't need to put $20 million on Porsche again. And if Richard Hart pumped ProveX to go to 1,000x, he is justified. Yes, he have already created the 1,000x coin. Do you understand it? He is justified. So you are not going to say, oh, Porsche did not do 1,000s. That is up to you. But he have already created Hex that did 1,000s, ProveX that did 1,000s. He is justified. That is why I am telling you we can never go below sacrifice phase. I have told you. Yeah, I made this bet and people are saying, oh, we are going to lose. You are going to lose. There's no way I'm going to lose. Even if I lose, I know why I am buying it, you know. For ProveX to dump below the sacrifice phase, do you know what will happen? Three things need to happen. Which three things that did not happen? Three things need to occur. The larger early participants need to be selling aggressively, which there's no larger early participant. The biggest whale there was about $300,000 to $500,000, which is you are not a whale if you are having $100,000 to $200,000. Anything below $1 million, and you will argue that $5 million that put that $5 million, I can bet you that it was Richard Hart that put that money. That initial $5 million that was sacrificed, it was Richard Hart money, because nobody in this community that worth that $5 million to sacrifice for Porsche, for ProveX. So it was Richard Hart money. So you think about another thing that needs to happen for ProveX to go below sacrifice phase is weak hand. If weak hand dominates the supply, which I told you that there are only two people that sacrifice: smart people, people who believe in little heart. They are not weak hand. They are people with conviction. All right. Another thing that need to do for ProveX not to get all right, for ProveX to go below sacrifice. If this app does not work, if this app come out and become a garbage, it does not function, then the ecosystem does not spot it. Then everybody will become panicking and say, oh, little hearts have failed again, and they will dump, which is not the case. You can see everybody is using this thing on testnet and is running smoothly, and it's going to come out on a few days. So all these 3 cases that I mentioned, ProveX beat all of them, which shows there's not going to be any dump below sacrifice phase. All right, you need to understand it. So ProveX is the catalyst that we need in order to start pumping. But in crypto, when crypto, let me be honest with you, crypto traders will say, oh, I'm not an emotional trader. I am not an emotional trader. But when price drop 10% or 20%, suddenly everybody become philosopher on Twitter. Price doesn't matter. It's about fundamental. Yeah, it's okay. So sacrifice level are not emotional level. These are not emotional people. These are people who understand the structure. I am not telling you that this is going to dump up, but I have shown you with all this analysis that I give to you now. If you still argue with people say, oh, it's going to dump, you have to understand these people want you to get out. So if you sacrifice for ProveX, you don't have any reason in this life to sell your ProveX. There's no other reason. There's no reason. Tell me, why would you sell a $30 million market cap coin that have a backing of $600 million? I mean, do you know how insane it is? Do you know the kind of money that we position to make if you tell him goes to just $7,000? All right, now let's just zoom out. Some people are saying, oh, but Bitcoin is not going to go to this thing. Oh, let's zoom out. I have told you a lot of time. Bitcoin stability. What is holding us is Bitcoin stability. If ETF liquidity present and micro situation tighten is easing slowly. All right, this is not just a panic environment. For ProveX to collapse below the sacrifice phase, we are likely to need a severe micro shock. We need an Iran or US war, or we need something in our micro environment that will be shock. All right, we need an ecosystem collapse narrative for ProveX to go below sacrifice phase, and either that is not going to happen. It's not presented at this level. So that is why I am telling you that we are not going to dump below sacrifice. I'm going to eat this guy money. See this guy, I'm going to disgrace him if he doesn't give me my money. I have already prepared his own money. If he win me, once he win me, I'm going to give his money. But if I win him, he will give me my money for sure. I'm telling you, a guy, you are going to give me my money. I'm going to eat your money. I'm going to win this time. All right. So if you understand supply physiology, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you want more realistic bullish breakdown like this, and if you are still here, comment below that. Tell me what you think about the sacrifice price? Are you holding, or are you think I am betting the long dilation? Tell me below. You are my community member. Let's talk. So let me clarify you now. All right. Here where the people could get shocked. All right. Most traders expect a new token to be immediately dumped or slow bleeding out. But what you are expecting to be more when people are expecting a bearish case scenario, we always go the sideways. All right. So in an event where Bitcoin stability become a thing, Bitcoin stop dumping, Ethereum start recovering, tell me why ProveX is going to be dumping. So if ProveX simple holds sacrifice level consistent, if you hold it for consistently, and the builders are building, they are using the protocol, there's no reason why it will dump below the sacrifice phase. You have to understand that. So ProveX is not going to dump below the sacrifice phase. before it will dump, the sellers must be overpowered their ideology. Micro collapse must have already happened before it do that. Ecosystem must be disengaged finally before it do that. There's no way you can tell me that I can all this money that we sacrifice, it will go below sacrifice phase. Never. It's not going to happen. So I am telling you now that we are likely to see a 1000S on ProveX, most likely. My target on ProveX is nothing below 1000X. 1000S. Okay, do you know how many million market cap that we need to have in order to do a 1000S on ProveX? We need 30 million market cap to do a 1000S on ProveX. Now, we need 10 billion market cap to do a 10S from sacrifice phase of post chain. 10 billion to do just a 10S. You understand how big post chain is? And we need 30 billion to do a 1000X. So which one are you going to go for? Are you going to risky 400 million to do a 10X, or are you going to risky 100 million to do a 1000S and keep your name glorified? That is what Literat is going to do. So if you believe that ProveX is not going to go below sacrifice phase, hit the like button. If you have your conviction that my bet is going to win, subscribe to my channel. Drop your realistic target of about ProveX below. Comment. Let's stand together, all right? Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Nobody is right always. But if all my analysis doesn't make sense, don't feel ashamed to tell me, all right? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.